I'm the sales manager at Scribe, and the reason that's sort of relevant really is I've spent the past year or so speaking to several hundred councils across the UK. I have a couple of observations that we've made within the business about kind of the situation that a lot of councils find themselves in, and I also have 3 recommendations that I want to give you about how to really master the year-end process. So we'll start with some of the observations now. Some of you might know my lovely colleague Jo Peters. She's a silk qualified clerk from Suffolk. She's taught me everything she knows about parish council accounting, as well as Hannah. And what we've put together here is the kind of hierarchy of needs for council accounts. Now, you can see here down at the bottom, we have administering, obviously keeping track of your transactions, your bank reconciliations, your VAT reclaim, that kind of thing is all absolutely crucial. It's also very important to monitor your spending throughout the year, keeping track of those budgets and seeing how they compare to your actual spending. And the reason really for doing all of this is to get through that governance, to create your year-end a.k.a. reports and to get through the actual audit at the end. And so this is kind of our observation of the hierarchy of needs of what you need to kind of have a good handle on within the council. Now, what I've observed from speaking to, like I say, hundreds of councils within my team, we've spoken to probably 500 or so councils in the past year alone. What we have observed is what we're calling the cash book crisis, where so many councils are not investing at all in a good cash book that actually works for them. And so what that really leads to is, if you don't have the first building block, then the rest of it just becomes really difficult. So we're observing that loads and loads of councils, they don't have that investment in the sort of day-to-day administration. And so things like, doing your VAT reclaim, your budget reporting, and especially the a.k.a. becomes a really daunting process where as you can see, the stress of it, the anxiety, just the kind of the build up throughout the year of dread just for this period just kind of becomes a little bit overwhelming. And it does feel almost like councils are kind of leaving this until the last minute, and then there's loads of overtime and a sort of dead stretch heat running straight for that a.k.a. at the end of the year. Now, my first recommendation, I have 3 recommendations to give you, is firstly, think cash book first. That's the most important thing. So from Hannah's training, what you can see there is it's absolutely vital to think about year end throughout the whole year. Your daily administration, actually working on managing the accounts, that needs to sort of tie into your monitoring, and all of these things need to contribute to your governance and your accountability. There's no point in having a cash book that doesn't work for you, because then you end up in the situation that I've just talked about with the cash book crisis. Now, my second recommendation is download our year-end checklist. It's completely free, and it will give you a step-by-step guide on how to get through the year-end process. You can see there's a link here. I'm sure my colleague John will post that into the chat as well. It's just a PDF. Download that. It'll give you a good idea of how to get through the year-end process. Now, my final recommendation is to have a look at Scribe. It's an accounting system specifically designed for local councils. And some of the main points about it really are it's easy to use. You can access it anywhere. I could go on all day about the benefits of Scribe, but really what it's all about is your daily administration and monitoring. Scribe will do for you, and it will also do the governing for you. So all you really need to do as the user is just load up your transaction, reconcile them throughout the year with your bank statements, and that's it. From there, Scribe will be able to do everything for you. So I would just like you to imagine if we were to do all of that for you, doing the year-end process, all of your reports, all of your VAT reclaim instantly within your cash book, what would you do with that time that you free up within sort of March through to May, when you're previously focusing on the year-end process? If that was all automated, what would you do with your time? I have an example of one of our customers, Sally Ferguson. She's the clerk to Lymsham Parish Council. Now, she invested in Scribe with her council. They decided to invest in a good cash book that works for them. And with the time that she was able to save throughout this period, she actually applied for a bunch of grants. It was quite lucky to receive a brilliant grant of 50,000, which is huge for a small council like Lymsham. And they actually opened a cafe, which is employs local youth. So that's just a really good example of the kind of thing that Scribe can do for you if you invest in a really good cash book. And finally, I just want to say, this is our support team. They're all very lovely, lots of smiling faces, as you can see. If you are interested in finding out how a cash book can actually really help you to take the stress out of your year-end accounting, get in touch with us. I'm more than happy to give you a brief demonstration of Scribe and talk through some of the benefits specific to it. And that's it.